How did that conversation go with Craig going to the 10th, and what was your reaction? Good?
Because we got to sit down.
What was your reaction to getting that 10th?
Good. I've been asking for it. Sometimes I've meant it, sometimes I haven't. I think Craig and I both knew today that short inning felt good after the ninth, ready to go back out and give us a chance to win.
What is your mindset in that 10th inning? Obviously, start the inning with the guy on second base. How do you feel?
Yeah, obviously, ideally, you're throwing up a zero. I always kind of look at it. If you're able to throw up a zero, that's like above and beyond. Obviously, at most, you want to give up that run on second base and no more. Just law of averages. Guy on second base, no outs. A lot of times that run scores. So, just not letting the big inning happen. Just being on the attack, going right at guys, and being conscious of that guy on second base, but not necessarily letting it change the way you're going to pitch.
How many times when he does get to third, you seem to be the kind of guy who's like built for that.
Yeah.
Does your mindset change at all?
Theoretically, you could be more comfortable with a guy on third base than second base if you're concerned about relaying signs or anything like that, or checking the guy behind you as opposed to the guy standing squarely in front of you. But no, not really. You're trying to be stingy every time out there, but especially with a guy in scoring position.
How many times did you pitch an extra inning like that?
We'd have to look it up. I don't know. More than a couple times for sure.
More than a couple?
Yeah.
Is anybody that the bullpen's a little thin at that point? It's like going into the ninth. Are you cognizant of that, trying to work efficiently, or are you just trying to get three?
No, not necessarily. Ideally, I'm sub 10 pitches every time out. I think every guy would say that. But yeah, it definitely goes a long way when we kind of empty everybody out early, and I have another game tomorrow. Being able to carry 2 innings there, and keep 2 guys fresh for tomorrow, and give us a chance to win again tomorrow as well.
So you available tomorrow?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Obviously, every game counts the same, but this homestand is a pretty big one against 2 tough teams.
Yeah.
Say it started. What do you have?
Yeah, no, regardless of who's across the field, it's going to be a tough game. There's not a lot of easy games in this league, but especially against teams that are playing really well this season, and we've went through our fair share of scuffles, but we still look at ourselves as one of those good teams as well. So obviously these next couple of weeks are important, but not letting yourself get too zoomed out and just kind of focus on the game ahead of you. Be going down 4-0 early and clawing back and playing tight baseball games like we know how to play and do regularly. That's our strength. So hats off to the guys. Bullpen, lineup, everybody. It's a team win.
Down 4 runs in the first. Are you thinking you have the opportunity to get out of the game in the situation that you're in?
Definitely, yeah. You can't shut it off. We've seen way too many games happen like this. We've seen 2 in the last week. Saw one in Texas go the other way. But yeah, it's a long game, and a big inning is always on the table. If you let yourself mentally check out of that, for somebody like me, obviously that's a factor, but also like any number of guys in this locker room, if you look at it like we're down 4 runs, this game's over, and it's the second inning. Like you're not going to go the places that you want to go if you have that mindset.
What's it like watching your dream pitch in front of him, especially the last one? Trying to throw as hard.
Yeah. I tease him. He's getting pretty close, so we're getting a little worried. But he is a dynamic pitcher. His ability to throw the ball where he wants to, when he wants to, and I think the thing I admire most about him is his command and his willingness to pitch inside, and how far his changeups come this year too. Just the amount of trust he has in every single one of his pitches, regardless of counts. And it's very much like the stuff is amazing, but he's pitching, he's commanding the baseball, and that command is something that you don't see with a guy that throws that hard very often.
What do you think about when you saw the struggles Man is having for him to come in and win a couple of games like he has in the last 3 or 4?
Yeah, I don't think at any point during this season, regardless of the numbers, that anybody felt bad when Manny was up at the plate. We have way more images in our head of him succeeding than him failing, and we know the type of player that he's been throughout his career, and maybe a more elongated struggle than he's been used to, but we know what's in there, and we've seen glimpses of it. We're seeing it more regularly, and I think as we continue through this summer, we're going to see more and more of what we've been seeing lately.